Hey guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher. Appreciate you guys joining me for today's video. And guys, today, keeping in line with the fact we're getting into January now, we're in the middle of jerkbait season. I want to have a little discussion on jerkbait color today. Jerkbaits come in a ton of different colors. And one of the things about a jerkbait, I mean, you got, tons of different color options like this, is that out of all the lure categories, when you think about crankbaits, topwaters, jerkbaits, swim baits, plastic worms or whatever, there's not another lure out there, lure category, that color makes more difference in. Color is critical in jerkbait fishing. It makes the difference between catching tons of bass and not catching any at all. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about that in today's video and also give you sort of my color guide, how I go about it. So I think it's gonna get some good information. And speaking of color guides, let me clue you in on one really good color right off the bat if you've never tried it. This is that Megabass matte shad color here. This has been a really good producer for me over the past probably 3 or 4 years. It's an excellent color if you have clean water and cloudy conditions. So if you've got like water visibility of over 3 feet where you're fishing and it's a cloudy day, this matte shad is really, really good for that. It's got a really unique glow to it, but it's subtle at the same time. So I'll have my Megabass jerkbait link in the description of this video if you guys would like to pick up some matte shads and one of your favorite Megabass colors there, or Megabass models there. If you use that link that's in the video description, it's a good way to help the channel out. And also guys, real quick, anybody interested in booking an on-the-water jerkbait lesson with me, fishing's really good right now, shoot me a private message at my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, for details. Appreciate that. Okay, we have touched upon jerkbait colors before, and I've got more jerkbait colors than any other lure category that I have by far, because a jerkbait is a sight bait for the most part. Now there are other aspects about the bait that attract the fish to it, like the noise of the rattling system or the balancers of the hooks clanging on it, the darting action like that triggers reflex strikes. But if you're fishing a jerkbait, especially a little bit slower, not really, really fast, color makes a big difference, because the jerkbait is one type of a lure that part of the retrieve for a lot of anglers is you let the bait set a little bit. You jerk it down and you let it pause, you jerk it again, let it pause. So anytime that you have a bait that is paused in the water time, in the water column, the bass can get a really good look at it. Because if you've got a jerkbait that's going through the water like this, they can't really see that color, what it is. They're reacting to the movement. But again, if you jerk that thing down and you let it set for 2 or 3 seconds and jerk it again, let it set, fish it slow like I do in the wintertime, these fish will come down on this thing and they will literally get that far away from it and they'll steady the thing. So they can see exactly what color it is. And the color is going to make a big factor or a big determination if they actually commit to that bait and strike it, or if they just swim off. And color can be influenced by a lot of different factors. The time of day, obviously the water visibility, the light intensity, the wind, all those factors combined, how deep the bait is, determine the best color of lures that you're gonna have. Now, one of the things I will tell you about lure color is you got to take this with a grain of salt, what I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm going to talk about sort of a foundational, like a first grade level color selection that you have to begin somewhere with. You have got to start somewhere. So you've got to have some type of a clue based upon your conditions on what color you want to begin with. But the thing about it is, out of all the lures that I've ever fished before, there are a lot of exceptions to the rule as far as what the bass hit. There are some things that I'm getting ready to tell you that'll be the direct opposite based upon things that we don't understand. There are certain things about the bass mood and behavior and their preferences day in and day out that they may prefer a color that you'd never even consider trying before. So one of the big things that you have got to remember is jerkbait fishing. If I could give you one good tip in this video, this is what it is. When you start getting a few bites on a jerkbait, the one you're throwing, or you start catching a few fish, say on whatever color you've decided to try, this is the time you want to experiment. Do not keep throwing that same color that you're catching them on, because if you know they're biting a jerkbait and they're reacting to one specific color, this is the time that you want to experiment with different colors to see if you can catch them better or catch bigger ones on it. So always experiment with color once you know you're around some fish with a jerkbait. That's a big, big deal. Okay, given that, let's talk about the three primary considerations in color. We've touched upon this before, but this is definitely worth repeating and going into a little bit more detail. There's three primary considerations in color. You're gonna have a jerkbait like this that has the flat finish on it, just like that's been painted right here. And then again, you're gonna have one like this matte shad that, you know, is sort of translucent. You can see my finger moving behind it. This is called a SP finish, or a translucent finish. And then you're going to have, you know, some type of a metallic finish like this, a shiny metallic finish. That's when you're thinking about jerkbait colors, that's the terms you need to think in. Metallic, solid color, or translucent color. That's going to give you a big indication, because like on Megabass here, they make over 100 different color jerkbaits, in, you know, each one of them in one of these three categories that I just mentioned there. So obviously you can't use everything. So you have to pick out something that looks good to you that falls under the category of flat, metallic, or clear. That's the number one thing. And so here's a brief way to start it. If you're fishing clear water or tough fishing conditions or bright skies, the translucent colors are always going to work better. In those bright, high visibility, high light intensity days, the translucency of a clear jerkbait is going to get you more strikes for sure. Now again, that being said, if you have like, you know, really dark conditions like rain or heavy wind, that can change, you know, that preference, but that's a good starting point. If you have a cloudy day and a little bit of stained water, you know, water visibility that's say less than 3 feet, that is when a flat finish works really good. Flat finish is really, really good in stained, low light conditions, and a flat can work really good in very clear water, again, if you have rain or low light conditions. And metallic is a very versatile color, but there's two aspects. When I fish a metallic jerkbait, I want my water visibility to be between 2 to 4 foot clarity, and I want wind. My sunlight conditions can be a lot of different things, but a metallic finish is really, really good in wind or 2 to 4 foot of visibility, simply because of the flash that it creates with that. I don't know what it is, but those are reproducible results that I've got with that. So given that, that's where I begin with. And I've got a lot of different colors, and, you know, I just sort of mix them up and change different ones based upon how good they're catching them or not. Don't try to oversimplify. A lot of people say, oh, you're trying to make, you know, things too complicated in bass fishing. This is one thing where it's the opposite. Do not oversimplify color and jerkbaits. One of the biggest mistakes I hear people make is they say, as I go, let me see your jerkbait box. And I'll look in there and they've got 2 or 3 colors. And I'm like, dude, you cannot do this. I said, you do not have enough colors to adapt to the conditions. You got to have colors to adapt to the different species of fish you're fishing, different light intensities, different wind speeds, different water visibilities, shade or sun. You got to have a lot of different colors. So in my opinion, you really need to have about probably 3 to 4 colors of each category, 3 to 4 different type of metallics, 3 to 4 different type of, you know, flat finishes, and 3 to 4 different types of clears, based, you know, with different types of clears and, you know, different back colors. That's the way you're going to maximize your jerkbait fishing. So, you know, guys, just a little tip on color, helps you guys catch some good ones, and we'll talk later.